of a better day today. There's still some black clouds over that way, but the sun's starting to break through. But I looked at the 10-day weather forecast, and it's not looking so clever. So I think we're still going to get some thunderstorms and showers and rain for the next 10 days. After that, things should settle down, and Koh Samui should get back to its normal tropical self. So next up, for my 10 towns that I think are great towns for retirees, expats, digital nomads, or anyone who'd like to spend a considerable amount of time here in Thailand. That town would be Udon Thani, which is about a 90-minute drive north of Khon Kaen, which was the last video that I did yesterday about Khon Kaen. Udon Thani is close to the border with Laos. Udon Thani is only about a 90-minute car journey north again to Vientiane, which is the capital of Laos. Udon Thani for me is it's a great place to visit, but personally I couldn't live there, although many expats do. I think that a lot of the expats who live there because it's close to the Laos border, and it's easy to do a visa on. If you're on a 90-day visa, you have to leave the country after 90 days to renew your visa from outside of Thailand. So Laos very close. It's it's only a short drive away. So a lot of people I think live in Udon because of that. Mind you, having said that, at the moment that sort of has been waived because of travel restrictions. Thailand are not requesting it now that you leave the country. You can renew your visa from within Thailand, which is it's how it should be. I think, for me personally, I can't understand why you have to. If you're on a 90-day visa and you feel like you want to spend an extra few weeks here, why you've got to go across to Malaysia or Myanmar or Cambodia or Laos and then come back in just to get a stamp in your visa. I mean, you're spending your money here. You want to spend an extra few weeks. Why not go to the immigration department in Thailand and be able to do that? But at the moment you can do that. So maybe when COVID goes, hopefully they'll carry on doing that, because it's a hell of a lot better system than making people fly somewhere just to go out the country for one day and then come back in. Udon Thani is a large, bustling city. It's got 3 large shopping malls. If you're into golf, you'll find 5 golf courses scattered around the area. One of the nicest things about Udon Thani is you'll find the Sea of Red Lotus that are on Hong Han Lake, which is it's a beautiful sight to see. It's just it's a lake that's covered with these red lotuses, and I think the best time to see them is between November and March, and you can rent a boat and a driver to take you out into the lake for about $5, and you go out for about an hour or 90 minutes, and you can go out longer if you don't mind paying more, but for about $5 you get a lovely trip, and you just go out there and it's so placid and beautiful, and you're just surrounded by these red lotuses. When you come back in from your little hour trip out, there's lots of market stalls and food stalls set up around where the boats depart from. It's a fairly large area, and you can spend quite a few hours just looking around the market stalls and eating and just taking in the beautiful view. The 2 main areas for bars and lady bars would be around the aptly named Nutty Park, and also day and night around Soi Sampan. Those 2 places seem to be the main areas for girly bars or lady bars. The upside of living in Udon Thani would be the proximity to Laos, to the Laos border. If you wanted a change of scene, The downside for me is that the nearest beach is about 9 hours drive away. As I said before, the 3 videos I've just made, this is the last of the 3, on my best towns to live in as an expat, digital nomad or retiree. These are just a prelude to me going to these towns, and when I go to these towns I'll be doing in-depth videos showing you everything you would need to know about living in all of those towns. But this is just to give you a taste of what you can expect if you go there. So now we head west of Udon Thani across to Chiang Mai. As I've said many times before, I love Chiang Mai, and if it was close to a beach, then it's where I'd be probably living now. Chiang Mai is a large, bustling city with many nice temples. I read somewhere once that there's so many Buddhist temples and shrines in and around Chiang Mai that if you visited one every day, it would take you about 10 months to see them all. Also, it's a shopper's paradise. The city has 8 large shopping malls scattered throughout the city. The city is surrounded also by national parks, the largest being Doi Suthep Pui National Park. It's about a 30-minute scenic drive from central Chiang Mai. If golf is your thing, you'll find about a dozen golf courses scattered around the area. Because Chiang Mai is a very large tourist area, or was before COVID. A lot of Japanese flew in for Chiang Mai, a lot of Chinese flew into Chiang Mai. Japanese and Chinese are not beach people, so Chiang Mai suits them to the ground. I think a lot of Europeans and people from Australia and the USA, Canada, they like the beaches and the islands, but a lot of the Chinese, Japanese and Asian people are more inclined for rural areas and markets and shopping and things like that. The city is close to the Myanmar border, and about a 5.5 hour drive to the Mayawadi border crossing between the 2 countries. Chiang Mai boasts a large expat community, and Chiang Mai Airport is an international airport as well as a domestic airport. Due to the large population of expats and the many tourists who come to the city every year, well, pre-COVID they did. I think at the moment, same as any town in Thailand, any touristy town, Chiang Mai is doing it tough as well. Pre-COVID there was a lot of foreign tourists coming here. There are many foreign restaurants, many bars and lady bars. If you're looking for lady bars, they'll be along the Loi Kro Road. That's where most of the lady bars are situated in Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai gets a lot of tourists, or used to get a lot of tourists, as I said, but in Koh Samui or Phuket or Hua Hin, Bangkok, you can find a lot of people who speak English. You can have a bit of trouble there in places like Chiang Mai, Khon Kaen and Udon. English is not always widely spoken, so you might have difficulties there if you don't speak Thai or you don't intend to learn Thai. So that's another thing you should take into consideration. When you stay in touristy type areas, the majority of people will speak at least some English to get by, but some of them speak fluent English because they work hotels and restaurants. They deal with people from Europe, USA, England, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, all around the world, even from places like South America, but because English is an international language, it's what most countries speak. When you go overseas, most people will speak English in tourist areas. There's many upsides about living in Chiang Mai. As I said, I love it there. But there are two large downsides to living in Chiang Mai. The first is the air pollution that happens every year between January and March, caused by farmers burning their fields off to prepare for planting their next year's crops. And that can cause respiratory problems. If you have breathing problems or heart problems, it can be quite severe. The other one, which is my pet hate, I could live there with the smog and the pollution, to be honest. But what I couldn't live there with is the 12-hour drive to the nearest beach from Chiang Mai. But if you're a rural or country person, you could do a lot worse than living in a city like Chiang Mai. So that brings me to the last of the 10 of my favourite towns to live in as an expat in Thailand, which is Chiang Rai. So we head 180 kilometres north to Chiang Mai's sister city, Chiang Rai. It's about a 3-hour scenic drive over some beautiful mountains and farmlands and national parks. It's a very beautiful scenic drive. I suppose Chiang Mai main claim to fame is Wat Rong Khun, better known to most people as the White Temple. I suppose it's one of the most recognisable temples in Thailand. Not a lot of people know this. It's a privately owned temple built by a man called Chayaman Kostapittipai, who designed, constructed and opened it to visitors in 1997. The White Temple is a stunning example of contemporary and traditional Thai architecture, and it's considered by many to be Thailand's most creative and beautiful religious structure. When it comes to expats, Chiang Rai doesn't have a large expat community, so they don't cater much for Farang, though they do get a lot of tourists coming to the city when they visit Chiang Mai. A lot of them come north to see the White Temple, and then while they're there they'll spend a night or two in Chiang Rai. So there are some places, if you search around, you'll find restaurants that do cater for Farang or for international tourists. There are 5 large shopping malls in the city area, and many markets and night markets, as you find in any large Thai city, or even most small towns. You'll find the markets and night markets. For any golf enthusiasts, they have 3 golf courses, and if you're into the bar scene or lady bars, I say these, I'm saying about these bars and lady bars because a lot of Farang do love to go to them. Personally, I love to go to them, so that's why I'm saying these. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I'm just telling you where they are in case that's your scene. But if that is your scene, you'll find them around the Jet Yard Road area, which is just south of the clock tower. And the clock tower, by the way, was built by the same man who built the White Temple. So that about wraps it up. There's not a lot to say about Chiang Rai. It's the most northern city in Thailand. It's very close to the all borders, the border of Laos and Myanmar. So that wraps up part 3 of the 10 best places for expats or retirees to live in Thailand, at least in my view. Hopefully by mid-January I'll be showing you those 10 towns in detail when I visit them when Thailand finally opens, as long as the government carry on and do what they said they would do. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. It's free and you'll be informed each time that I release a video. Push the link button if you know of anyone family or friend who might like to watch my videos on Thailand, and then pass on the link to them. If you're thinking of retiring or living in Thailand for any length of time, please take a look at my book, The Retire in Thailand Handbook, the first 6 months. It's crammed full of information to help you tiptoe over the logistics of making Thailand your home as seamless as possible. So until next time, take care during these horrible, terrible COVID days, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers for now.